If you're watching this video, I'm assuming you're an adult. And if you've seen any of my videos before, you already know that I'm all about motivation and helping guys over 40 to look better and to have more self-confidence. But if anything I say in this video gets you triggered, please consider it tough love, because you are awesome and you deserve to be happy. I'm also assuming that you're a man over 40 who currently isn't in a relationship with a woman, but you want to be and you're trying. Now, it can get really easy to blame women and build up resentment, but as men, every now and then, it's healthy to take a good long look in the mirror and ask yourself if you're really ready. Are you at a place in your life mentally, intellectually, and financially to draw women to you that will complement your life, not complicate your life? Because if the guy who's staring back at you in the mirror is somewhat mediocre and isn't ready, all you're going to attract are mediocre women who also aren't ready. All right, so I want to address one really massive issue right up front here, because I constantly hear from men complaining that women are only looking for a guy with loads of money. And sure, some are, but you don't want to date them anyway. Now here's some numbers, because you're probably doing better than you think you are. Roughly only 17% of men living in the US make over $100,000 a year. And the median income is somewhere around $67,000. Now, depending on what source you look at, some of those numbers can vary slightly, but those numbers I just gave you are pretty accurate. Now, here's some of that tough love I talked about earlier, because in my experience, men who complain about women only wanting a guy with money are the same guys who just aren't doing very well financially, and they're constantly worried about their money. And that assumption about women and money is in their heads, because a lot of times that's their insecurity about money that they're projecting onto pretty much every woman who they meet. These guys have already built this barrier between themselves and women, because in their own mind, they're already assuming that every woman they meet is only out for money, when in reality, that's just not true. And like I just mentioned, in a lot of those cases, that assumption about money is made up in your own mind. That's your insecurity that you're projecting. Now, those are your assumptions, and you need to get past it. But listen, when you boil it all down, women want a man who has a life, has aspirations, knows what he wants out of his life, and just has his shit together. But if in fact you meet a woman who only wants money, let her go and be some other dude's problem, because she doesn't deserve you anyway. Now, another thing I see a lot is that men are very needy. Women don't want to be your mother, and they don't want to clean up after you. Take care of your own crap. And now also, if you're always texting her to see where she is or who she's with or like what she's doing, or if you're always needing some extra validation from her so that you feel better about yourself, it's in your best interest to start working on being secure with yourself and be independent in your own life. Because chances are, if she's, say, early 30s to mid 40s, she probably has at least one child that she looks after who's needy, and she doesn't want to look after you and your needs also. Another big issue is that you put yourself in the friend zone. Here's the deal. You have to let her know that you're interested in being more than friends. Because if you don't, you'll never know, and you will regret it once she starts dating some other guy. The only way to know for sure how she feels about you is to put your intentions out there. Look at it this way. If the two of you are messaging and talking back and forth, chances are she likes talking to you. But if you keep playing the nice, safe, friendly guy, that's where she's going to keep you, because you put yourself there. Now, the best way to get out of the friend zone, or just avoid it altogether, is to ask her out on a proper date. And you need to call it a date, because that's what it is. And you need to make that very clear. You're not going to go meet her for coffee somewhere like one of her besties just so she can dump on you about all of her dating life or family problems. But if she's not interested, at least now you know. And if it doesn't work out, sure, it's going to suck for a little while, but at least you stood up and said what you needed to say. You didn't hide from it, and you went for it. And that, my friend, is respectable and takes confidence. Now, another reason that you might not be having the success that you think you should be having is that your personal style needs an upgrade. Now, here's some more research numbers, and I really want you to listen to this and let this all sink in. A study of 2,000 women by this detergent manufacturer a few years back found that poor style is a deal breaker. And 60% of those women said that poor taste in clothes was the top dating deal breaker. Now, there was another study that was commissioned by Men's Health magazine. They questioned more than 1,000 women ages 21 to 54 in 2 separate online polls. They found that women ranked a man's sense of style as one of the top 10 traits women want in a man. And yet another study by Kelton Research found that 85% of women think that a guy who dresses well is a better catch and even sexier than a guy who just has a whole lot of money. Also, 80% of women said they would give up something in their lives like going out to dinner, using their cell phone, or even having sex for an entire year if they could have a better dressed partner. Now, gentlemen, this is all just the tip of the iceberg, but the takeaway here is that it matters more than you might think it does. Women don't want a man who dresses like a slob or like an overgrown 15-year-old. And look, I care about you guys. I really, really do. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments. And as always, thank you so much for watching. Live well, and I'll see you in the next one.